Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you are here today. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss any of my wig related content. Today, I'm bringing you this wig review for Shirley's Wig Shop. Shirley has a great Facebook group. It's a private group. It's called Shirley's Wig Shop. Hair's looking at you, kid. I will put a link in the description box so you can join this great group. So today we are going to take a look at this beautiful new style. This is Bradshaw from the Belle Tress Icons collection. I had to review this because so many of you all are raving about this wig, so I wanted to try it. So the color on this one is the Havana Brown R. So we'll get to her in just a second. Okay, so super cute, mid-length, well, you know, right at the shoulders. Do you call it a mid-length? I don't know. Wavy style with a few layers in it. Very, very easy to wear style. I am loving the density. I mean, it's just very natural looking. I like the wave pattern. Like I said, there's a few layers, but not, not a ton of layers, of course, but they're longer layers. So just really, really cute. I think it's really, really a pretty wig. And I wanted to I'm trying to get all of the icons colors on my channel for y'all. So this is the Havana Brown R, which the number code for that is 1012+6. So beautiful, beautiful brunette, and we will talk about that in just a moment. Okay, so let's check out what Bradshaw has to offer here. So the Icons collection have the ear-to-ear lace front. And then we have my difference in opinion with Belle Tress about the Icons collection, and that is the top. So they call the top a full mono top, and you will hear a lot of reviewers calling it a full mono top. I have examined it closely, and I call it a hand-tied top. I can see a difference in the size of the knots between the lace front that goes from here to here, and then when we go back into the part. Now, I'm not saying that's a terrible thing. It's fine, but I just differ in opinion about what it should be called. So here are the knots on the lace. I hope this is going to show for you guys. So you can see the knots on the lace are tiny. Then we go into the part and they're larger looking. And let me see, I want to come in. So sometimes I dip my head down too far and you can't see them. So those larger looking knots, in my opinion, have more than one hair tied into them. However, I have seen larger, those are called cluster knots. I've seen larger cluster knots than this on a hand-tied top. So these are well done, okay? So I still like this collection. I still recommend these wigs. I think they're really, really cute. But you just might notice, and I'll show it to you when I show you the cap, you can really see the difference if I take it off and I, kind of push my finger up against the part, you can see the difference. So, but this top does allow you to part it wherever you'd like. Again, I'll show you the knots when I part it somewhere else, just to see if you can see a difference there. And like I said, they're really tiny. And if the knots bother you, then what I do for that is I use a little bit of my powder and I just put it on my part, on those knots, all the way back, and it helps hide them, and it works out great. So it's not like a deal breaker or anything. I just want y'all to know where I differ in opinion on that, because if you buy this wig and you look at these knots, and I've said it's just a regular double mono top, and you know your wigs, I think you're gonna see a difference. That is why I'm telling you. Okay, so these are the heat-friendly Belle Tress fibers as well. So just really, really pretty. Okay, the measurements are, let's see, I want to pull down the bang. They say 12.5 inches on the side. There's this, I feel like this is shorter than 12.5, maybe it isn't. But anyway, there is this front layer, this slightly shorter layer, and then you go into longer layers on this side. So I do think you could put a bang in. That's why I wanted to point that out to y'all. So 12.5 inches on the side, 6.5 to 7 inch nape. So it gives you just enough nape hair, for some styling. Overall, 13 to 13.5 inches with a weight of 4 ounces. So now let me pop it off, and I'm going to show you this part up close. because this is where you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this at the front, this is so hard to like squeeze it up against my finger and point. These are the knots on the lace, okay? Then we go back to the knots on the part. So you can see a difference. These are tinier than the ones on the top. That's what I want you to be aware of as a consumer who's purchasing the wig. Okay, so here is the hand-tied top. It also has what we typically see on a hand-tied top is an extra layer of netting there for comfort and softness and whatever. So, okay, so ear to ear lace front. This is monofilament lace for sure across the front. And then they do the ear tabs in this clear poly, which I really like. And then there is a metal stay inside of that. The rest of the cap is hand tied in this portion and closed wefted back here on the back portion with an extended nape and Velcro adjusters. And like I said, these are the heat-friendly fibers. I did not talk about the fit, so let me pop her back on and I'll tell you about the fit. Okay, so fit on this cap is really, really nice on my petite head. It just fits great. The Luxe cap is big. The Luxe SE fits me better, and then these icons also fit my head well. So, but there is a lot of stretch in the back of the cap. And in this cap, there's stretch in the hand-tied portion as well as in the closed wefted portion. So there's plenty of stretch to accommodate larger head sizes. I'm a 21-inch circumference. I'm 11 ear to ear, and the ear to ear is great on me. It's just right where it should be. So thinking about that with your measurement, a lot of people who have average size heads are 12 ear to ear. So think about, whether or not you're going to have bio hair showing there, since it's fitting me so well on my 11-inch measurement. It may work fine for you. And if you're bald there, particularly, you don't have to worry about it. But if you do have bio hair, you just might want to make sure that the shade you're choosing is going to blend well with your bio hair. So, and then circumference-wise, like I said, I did not have to bring in the adjusters. I'm 13 forehead to nape, and that's where I'm seeing the stretch is back here in the cap. Lots of stretch, and of course stretch in the circumference as well. Okay, let's talk about this beautiful brunette. So this is the Havana Brown R 1012 plus 6. So a 6 root and I guess 6 base with a 10 and a 12 running through it. So this to me is a true medium brown, not too light, not too dark, a little dimension with the 10 and the 12, in there. So really, really pretty. So the description is a rich medium brown with slightly darker roots. Easy. So, but like I said, I do see some dimension in the brunette. It's not just a flat color, which I love. It's very pretty. Belle Tress's colors are so well done. I'm very impressed with them. They always have dimension. They're interesting. They're fun. They look like, this one maybe not so much, but because it's a brunette, But like some of the blondes, they have so much dimension. They look like you spent hours in the salon, in the chair. So show you the knots again. Okay, so this is window light. Pretty. I would say this is neutral with a touch of warmth. Maybe the 12 is bringing in a little warmth. But it's not super, super warm, and it's definitely not completely cool. So I would say it definitely is neutral leaning, just warm-ish, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm under my patio cover, but it's overcast, so I'm just going to show it to you in the light out here. Okay, so I did want to mention opening the part on this one was super, super easy. It just opened right up, but there is a little bit of a face flap with this layer, so it's going to need just a little bit of training, but it's not terrible. I will say it's not terrible. Now, if you're out in wind and stuff, you're going to get a little bit of that, but you know, I'm not having to, it's not constantly falling in my face, as you've noticed throughout the review. So there's just a little tiny bit of a few hairs. So they'll just need me to keep on, you know, pushing them back, or, you know, you could use a hot air brush, or, you know, whatever your hot tool of choice is. If you want to move it back out of your face, a little product and it would help with that as well, but it's really not bad. So very low density, no permatease, typical to the Belle Tress brand. So very easy to put behind your ears. So your glasses, your sunglasses should be really easily will go up on your head, which I love. That just feels so natural to me. I am a put my glasses up on my head person. You know, half the time I don't know where my glasses are because they're on my head. That type of person. And so yeah, they just go up really, really easily. So a headband is going to be one easy way to train. I also feel like these ear tabs, compared to the Luxe, I don't know if they've just changed things a little bit, put a little bit more, you know, longer metal stay or something, but they don't like, sometimes with styling the Luxe wigs, it'll pull up like that, and I'm not noticing that with that, but it also might be that these fit me ear to ear better, so that probably is influenced by influencing it as well. So, but you could also pull out a little bang here. Pretty. Oh, I like that. How pretty is that? Very nice. And then we do have the length to go half up, half down and stay in a clip, no problem. Yeah, this, like I said, this one still might want to drift down. It's just slight, that's that slightly shorter layer where I was saying I think you could put a bang in. So might get a little bit of drift out with those layers, but looks pretty. And then, and if those layers are bugging you, just stick a little bobby pin behind your ears or something and, you know, clip them back out of the way. But we do have just enough to do a little pony or maybe a little twist. So, really, really cute. I think it's a really, really cute style. So I'm going to put a link to purchase this from Shirley's Wig Shop down in the description box. That link is an affiliate link. I don't earn commission from it, but it does give you a 30% discount when you shop through that link. So I thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, don't forget, you're absolutely beautiful. Bye-bye.